Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going to get cheeky with the purple hybrid engine, and we're going to play a Warp Gallantmon deck with BT2 Gallantmon. It cares about the number of cards in your opponent's trash to trash some security, and it's going to let you end the game really quickly as soon as you start hitting the 10 to 20 cards total in trash mark. So, starting with our eggs, we have 4 copies of Cupimon from BT16. On deletion, by trashing 1 card in your hand, you gain 1 memory. Great way to guarantee memory on our rookie chip. We have 2 copies of Gabumon from ST16. Start of your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon, you gain a memory, and then when attacking, you draw 1 and trash 1. So this is going to be a good way for us to get memory and cycle cards with the draw 1, trash 1 effect. We have 4 copies of the EX3 Guilmon. It costs 1 to Evo. That's fine. The thing we care about here is on deletion, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon 3K or less. If no Digimon was deleted, both players mill 2. So it's going to build the trash really quickly if we use this as a chip rookie. We have 2 copies of the EX4 Guilmon. On play, if the total number of cards in both players' trashes is 20 or more, this Digimon gains rush for the turn. We do have scrambles in this deck, so we have ways to play this from the trash, potentially get that rush check in. And there's also some really fun warp shenanigans we can do with this. If you use the Takato that allows you to warp on main, you play this, it gets rush, you warp on it, Digimon still has rush, and you just do all kinds of shenanigans with that. So this is a mandatory at least 2 of. For our level 4s, we have Purple Hybrid Engine here. We have 4 copies of BT18 Duskmon. It's going to evo on Koichi for 2. On play, when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, you're going to change the color of one of their Digimon or Tamers. And then when attacking, one of your Digimon or Tamers can evo into a level 4 with Hybrid Trait in the trash with the cost reduced by 1. Then on deletion, you play a Tamer with a play cost of 4 or less from your trash without paying the cost. We are looking to play one of our 2 Takatos with this effect for the sake of efficiency. Once you have built enough trash, you're going to kind of swing this in, let it die. You're going to play the Warp Takato or the Blitz Takato, and you're going to do the warp thing. So that's what this is for. We then have 4 copies of Velgrmon from BT18. On play, and when Digivolving, for each color your opponent's Digimon and Tamers have, you're going to trash a card from the top of both players' decks. Then for each card this effect trashed, it gets 1k DP. Fantastic way to mill cards. And then end of attack, by deleting a level 4 or lower purple Digimon, you delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So it's going to be a great way to trim the opponent's board down while building mill. It's kind of stopping you from dying, doing some damage, and getting your opponent into the range where your warp play can win you the game. We then have 4 copies of the EX3 Growlmon. When Digivolving, you're going to pop something with 3k DP or less. If nothing is popped, both players mill 2. When attacking, you can delete one of your other Digimon to have this gain security +1 for the turn. What we care about here is that this is a Growlmon to use for our warp play. Sometimes the security attack +1 trigger might come up, but more often than not, we're trying to put this in the trash so that we can make a warp play. We have 3 copies of Loweemon from BT18. When Digivolving, draw 1, trash 1. Helps us find our pieces really well. And when attacking, one of your Digimon or Tamers can Digivolve into a purple or yellow Digimon card with a hybrid trait in the trash. One of the cool things about this is we are going to be running Kimeramon, so this Digimon itself doesn't necessarily have to be the one that evos. You can evo one of your other things into a level 4 and then DNA into Chimera and make a play that way. It's really versatile in that function. We then have, lastly, 1 copy of EX4 Black Growlmon. This is going to, when Digivolving, make both players mill the top 2 of their decks. Then you return a Guilmon or card with Growlmon or Gallantmon in name from trash to hand. The function of this card is just to grab back your Crimson Mode Aces as your closer, and this makes sure that you can find it and get there. Moving on to our level 5s. We have 4 copies of BT17-013. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k or less. If this didn't delete, this Digimon gets security attack +1 for the turn. Doesn't come up a whole lot. We're usually not Digivolving into this. The reason this is the WarGrowlmon we have chosen for our warp play is this inheritable that says all turns when an effect deletes an opponent's Digimon, you may unsuspend this Digimon with Gallantmon in its name. So this is a nice little unsuspend trigger for our warp stack. Then we have 2 copies of BT8 Kimeramon. You can DNA on 2 level 4s. When Digivolving, you place a level 5 or lower Digimon from trash under this Digimon as its bottom source. Then up to 4 of your opponent's Digimon get -1k for each of this Digimon's colors until the end of their next turn. And then this is treated as having the colors of its sources. And if it has 4 or more, it gets 4k DP. You can get some really cheeky DNA plays with this card. For our Gallantmon of choice, we are running 4 copies of the BT2 Gallantmon. When Digivolving, if you have a red Tamer, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k or less, and when attacking, trash one of your opponent's security cards for every 10 cards in their trash. So this is going to get really strong really quickly with the purple hybrid engine. It does cost 4 to evo. We have scrambles if you do a Kimeramon play, but otherwise you're going to be playing the cost on warp. Then we have 2 copies of Gallantmon Crimson Mode Ace. We all know what this does. You pop 15k's worth of your opponent's Digimon. That's what's going to enable our WarGrowlmon Ace, WarGrowlmon inheritable as well. And then when attacking, for every 10 cards in both players' trashes, trash the top card of your opponent's security. This is lethal. If there are 10 cards in your opponent's trash, there's probably 10 cards in your trash. This is going to trash one, check one. You can evo into this if you have the Blitz Takato as well. This is going to pop something that causes the WarGrowlmon to unsuspend. You're going to swing it. There's probably 20 in trash. So you're trashing 2, checking 1, and you're just basically set up to win if you get 1 single chip in. Then we have 2 copies of Red Scramble. It's going to help you reduce the evo cost on your red Digimon, but more importantly, it's going to let you play back the Rush Guilmon if your opponent has a Digimon and you do not, and that's going to have Rush so that you can then warp into this Gallantmon and kind of win the game out of nowhere if the Red Scramble is set up. So that's super powerful in this deck. We have 1 copy of the BT2 Mat Ishida. It's a memory setter, and it grabs you a purple Digimon or option card from trash to hand. Good way to recycle your Duskmon, but it's kind of just a good memory setter and makes you able to grab whatever piece you need in whatever situation you are in. We also have 4 copies of Koichi Kimura from BT7. On play, you draw 1, trash 1. It just filters our pieces. The inheritable to gain a memory on the Duskmon play is also really nice. It's going to make sure that our plays are memory efficient and that we can keep going to dig for resources and find our pieces. We have 3 copies of the BT18 Koichi Kimura. I like this because it guarantees you the 1 extra memory. So if you have the memory setter Takato or the memory setter Mat, you have this. Now you are guaranteed 4 memory to make sure that you can make your warp play and do everything you need to do in one go. We have 2 copies of the BT12 Takato. This is our warper. If you have 2 or less memory, it sets it to 3. And then main once per turn by placing this Tamer, a Growlmon, a WarGrowlmon from your trash in any order as the bottom source of one of your Guilmon. That Digimon may Digivolve into Gallantmon in your hand for the cost, ignoring its level. This Digimon Digivolve by this effect gets 2k DP. So if you have this set up along with the Red Scramble, you scramble, you play the Guilmon, it gets Rush, you warp with the Takato into a Gallantmon, you swing your checks, you go into Crimson Mode Ace, you unsuspend with the WarGrowlmon effect, and if you have the Takato here from EX2, it gets Blitz, you swing, and you win the game. So this card, if you've never seen it, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you suspend this Tamer to gain a memory, and then when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a Gallantmon or Growlmon, it gets when Digivolving Blitz. So that is our cheeky little Warp Mill deck for Gallantmon from BT2. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our YouTube members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and Octavian who make videos like this possible.